What are some of the risk factors for people who may elope?
Risk factors for elopement typically involve some level of Alzheimer's or dementia, and typically that level is the moderate level. And let me explain. People with a mild level of Alzheimer's or dementia, those with typically some memory loss or some inability to problem solve, or perhaps they lose things or they get lost in their own home, for people like that with mild dementia, they can typically be redirected in the facility and their elopements can be averted. By contrast, people with advanced levels of dementia are typically no longer mobile, and as such, they don't pose nearly as great a risk for elopements. So the target risk group is really those people with moderate dementia. And this stage impacts residents' abilities to make close social connections with people that they used to be close to. And often this is what psychologists think triggers their wandering, is they're seeking out familiar surroundings and familiar people. And in this moderate stage of dementia, they still have some mobility available, and that increases tremendously the elopement risk. So moderate level of dementia is our number one risk factor. Number two is, have there been prior attempts to elope? A resident who's attempted it before is much more likely to attempt it again. Third on our risk list, residents who are restless by nature, or maybe they've communicated their intent to leave either verbally by saying so much, or through their actions by repeatedly looking out of doors, or trying to open windows, or packing or unpacking their belongings, or putting on a coat or jacket. Sometimes even elders asking for directions will tip off other residents at a facility or staff that a risk of elopement is really in front of them. Fourth on our list of risk for elopements is poor sleep patterns. Residents who don't sleep well at night, and knowing that facilities decrease their staffing at night, can also give a much greater opportunity for an elopement.